this already, but there are what are we at now? We had 7.5 billion people on the planet?
Over 8.
Over 8? See, I'm old now, I'm outdated information. So over 8 billion people on the planet, which means there are over 8 billion ways of touching our utterly precious, unique human life. As such, it's maybe surprising that there are only 84,000, as they say, gates into the Dharma. Various techniques, various ways of thinking about, viewing, and practicing the Dharma. And what it means to awaken. But I thought tonight I would share a simple 6-point mindfulness of breath practice. And as always, you know, the sound of my voice is just another sound in the room. Like the fan. Like sounds from outside. And as always, even if we're pursuing a specific technique, even if we're pursuing a very peculiar or specific, perspicacious is another good word for that. Very perspicacious technique. Even while we are doing so, it's important to remember to do so with as open and spacious a heart as possible. There's an ancient instruction called tighten the tight and loosen the loose, which means get it dialed. Be very clear in your intention and what you are practicing and how you are practicing. And then relax. Pursue it and conduct it as softly and kindly as possible, like an act of love, like an act of beauty, like an act of devotion, which it is. So, if you've already been sitting for a little bit, which you may have been, I want to invite you to, if you like, take a second and wiggle or stretch. It's very common. A lot of us habitually hunch our shoulders forward, which actually constricts our diaphragm and makes our breathing shallow. I want to invite you to, that felt good, to roll your shoulders back. Roll your neck maybe. So the posture and the position can be as simple as just be comfy, and that's totally sufficient. It can also be a little more precise, like sit in such a way such that your bones and joints are holding you up and not your muscles. Sit in such a way like a lump of soft clay. So fixed and immobile, but soft and pliable. And this is always how our practice is, right? Tighten the tight and loosen the loose. And then fixed and immobile, but soft and pliable. And of course, our internal attitude is that similar kind of marriage of opposites. The most bright and alert, and the most relaxed and soft. So finding that way of sitting that works for your specific body, your precious human body. Sit as comfortably as you can with your back straight. For some people, the straight back instruction is better heard as imagine a thread connected to the top of your skull, pulling you to the sky. Some people like to hear, imagine a sunflower. Your spine and head is like the long, tall stalk of a beautiful sunflower reaching for the sun. Let your hands be however they want to be, on your lap, on your legs, folded, flat, however it works for you. And to begin, I want to invite you to really see if you can feel the whole body with each breath. You don't need to control your breathing at this point or manage anything at all. But it's almost like the breath is a wave that carries the mind, that carries the attention through the body. So I invite you to take a moment and just feel each breath and see if you can follow it, like riding the wave of the breath throughout the whole body. Just this relaxation will allow the body to still and settle on its own terms, with no need to manage or manipulate the body in a heavy-handed way. I'm going to invite you to follow some simple prompts taking us through the five senses. And again, my voice is just a sound, so feel free to follow your own line if you like. Beginning in the field of touch, noticing any point of sensory contact on the surface of the skin. Warmth or coolness. The various fabrics, the clothing on our skin. Perhaps there are places upon your skin where you can feel the air moving. Noticing places where skin touches skin, maybe toes or ankles, fingers and hands. Noticing these sensations from the inside of the mouth, lips, teeth, and tongue. If your eyes are closed, you can feel the eyelids touching each other. And the gentle pressure on your feet, ankles, shins, knees, backs of your thighs, sit bones, buttocks. the gentle pressure of your hands upon your lap. And even the way the force of gravity from the very center of the earth holds you to her. In the field of the sense of hearing, simply notice what is arising in the field of hearing. Sounds that arise and pass away and fall into our open ears second by second. And just like the sense of touch, they need no management, manipulation, or control from us. They arise to be known. And let go of. Light and shadow on our eyes or eyelids. Smells in our noses and tastes in our mouths. And all the while the breath is flowing in and flowing out. Now if you like, you'd be welcome to take a couple deep breaths deep into your abdomen and then let go on the exhale with a sigh. And then let your breath do exactly what it wants to do. Your breath knows what to do. Now you can imagine this like a flowchart or a decision tree. We established stillness and calm in our bodies in a kind and loving way. We scanned the five senses with an eye towards meeting experience in a non-judgmental and loving and tender way. And now at this point, you are welcome to simply rest in the sensations of body and breath in kind of an open and unfocused way. And that would be a perfectly fine way to practice. Alternately, you'd be welcome to gather your attention gently on the breath and notice each breath as it flows in and flows out without controlling or forcing the breath in any way. And upon noticing that you have maybe started thinking about something else or trying to solve some problem or tell some story, you can just notice and relax. Maybe even take a deep breath and then come back to just the watching of the breath. I invite you to just watch the breath for a moment or two, and I'll be quiet. Just want to kind of pause this lap here. So feel free to open your eyes if you like, or look around, but remember, even when the bell rings, we're not done meditating. We're just changing our position, or we're meditating and doing something else. So I just wanted to briefly break in and say, and maybe I should put something on the whiteboard, make like a flowchart. I don't know why I only just now figured this out, but the basic schema of what we just did is we sat, we kind of established calm in the body, scanned through the five senses, which can be a very relaxing and stabilizing way of establishing attention in the body. And then we move to the breath. And that's a major jumping off point. So many different techniques kind of hinge on how do we notice the breath, or how do we practice with the breath. So I just wanted to stop right there, just in case anybody had any questions or clarifications, or maybe I'm such a visual person, I literally just wanted to see my hands go. Okay, now here's the jumping off point, so the chart's in my head. Okay, all right, so simply practicing that routine in your life of sitting, lying down, standing, walking even, however you find yourself, but coming into presence, that intentional, volitional move, the kind of turning the senses inward, or the backward step, or sitting down, whatever it looks like in your mind, that coming into presence and then just resting like that could be your practice your whole life and be totally sufficient, totally fine. And then there are thousands of techniques afterward. The very next thing from that point in the flowchart is, and of course, like I said, there are for instance, 64 primary styles of mindfulness on the breath taught in Burma alone. So a lot of variation, which is wonderful. This is part of like the ginormous 24/7 all-you-can-eat buffet of the 2,600-year project of Buddhist meditation. It's a good time, and it's all you can eat. But at this point, once we kind of come to calm, bring our awareness through our precious human body in an intentional and kind way. And then the breath is like the doorway. It's like the portal. And from that point, the general kind of three choices, three styles of the buffet are simply noticing the sensations of breath, noting the sensations of breath, and counting the sensations of breath. Okay, so when I say noticing, I literally just mean I got calm, I sat down, or maybe I sat down, I got calm, I did a quick body scan, and I know tonight we did it a little bit, longer than you need to. My hope is that you take this experience of scanning through your five senses, and it can really be any order, but I kind of do it in order that it makes sense to me, which is, touch, hearing, sight, smell, and taste. So I sat, I got calm, and it could be really fast. Like a lot of people just shorthand it, like you sit down and like it's enough for me generally to feel my hands on my lap and my butt on the bench or chair. And that's enough to get me there. But you may notice that sometimes you need a little more support so you can run through, touch and hearing. Hearing's a big one for people. It can either be very distracting and, rough for people, myself included, or it can be very stabilizing. So anyway, I sat, I got calm, I ran through the five senses, I come to the breath, maybe even I take a deep breath or two like we did, and now I can just sit and notice the sensations of breath.